Happy afternoon.
Happy afternoon.
How many of you think you are a genius? Please stand up. Genius. Great. Why do you think you are a genius? There must be some reason. So why do you think you are a genius?
I can communicate very well.
I can communicate well.
Sir, though I am not genius, but I feel I am genius.
Why do you feel like
I have
that?
a positive attitude, that's it.
Through your positive attitude. Fair enough. And why do you feel you are a genius? Ma'am?
So I think I can draw very nice pictures, so I am a genius.
Okay, fair enough. Sir?
Yeah.
I like you. You have my hairstyle. So.
I like you too also. Yeah, people call me a genius. That's why I like. I am B.
Okay. I thought there's too much grey matter inside, no? No space for the hair particles to stay inside. Okay. And those of you who did not stand up, why do you think you are not a genius? What about you, Samir?
Fear of communicating good, with, like relating with people or doing things.
See, youngsters, if you have fear of communication, how will you get married? And don't tell me that's why we are not getting married. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
According to me, genius is perfection, I feel. So
Okay.
I feel so I have to still do a lot more. And so I think I'm not a genius actually.
Not a genius yet. Okay, fair enough. Let me choose a few more friends. Okay, yes, ma'am. Why do you think you're not a genius?
As she said, I am not perfect in everything. So,
Okay, fair enough. And human beings are not meant to be perfect. No, all of us will have our flaws always. Always. But anyway, that's a fair thing. Those of you who have kerchiefs in your pocket, can you please take it out? Do you have one? If you don't have one, it's okay. Just look at this. If you have one, great. If you don't have one, it's okay. Why do you think a kerchief was manufactured? Anybody? For sale. Okay. But what use in mind?
Nostrils.
Nostrils? Okay. God gave nostrils and human beings gave kerchief. Something like that? Okay, fair enough. Can somebody tell me what is the other use for which you can use this kerchief?
Wipe the tears, yes.
White tears. Okay, fair enough. What else?
Cover the head.
You raise your hands, I identify you, and then you share. Otherwise, if everybody shares, you won't be able to get the best of the session. Yes, anybody? Yes?
Sweat, to wipe the sweat.
To wipe the sweat? Okay, fair enough.
So the same thing I was going to say.
Wipe the sweat? Okay, fair enough. Cover the head in the Gurudwara? Okay, fair enough. Gurudwara mosque? Yes.
to hold something.
Okay, teachers? Yes.
To hold something in the hand.
To hold something, something has to be there in the hand for me to feel secure. So I hold the kerchief. Yes, of course. Why not? Okay, any other teachers? My volunteers are raising their hand. I would love to have some teacher's voice. Yes.
The blindfold.
Blindfolding? Look at chupi. Something like that? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yes, what else?
To hide the feelings. Like a bandit.
Use like a band-aid, okay.
Hide the feelings.
Hide feelings? Okay, so sometimes when you are a little sad or crying, so you want to hide your face, fair enough. What else? Teachers. I am looking for teachers' hands.
I could create something out of the handkerchief.
We can create something out of the handkerchief,
Yeah,
right? We can
with a
create a
boat.
flower or we can do something out of it. Some art crafting. Okay, fair enough. What else?
So if someone gets the tooth extracted, they put the handkerchief here to
Okay.
hide the
Absolutely. Because it's paining, we just press it so that it can
It
relieve
looks
us.
bad
of
also.
Hmm?
It looks bad also.
It looks bad also, so like that?
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, when it looks bad, no, be glad because so many people are looking at you. Otherwise, they just might have ignored also. What else? I can right now think of at least 10 different uses for this which has not been said by the teachers yet.
No,
Yes,
sign
ma'am.
off when you're coughing.
You raise your hands, I identify you, then you speak. Yes, ma'am.
Being a maths teacher, I can teach fractions.
We can teach fractions, right? Okay, fair enough. Fractions and of course shapes also. Triangle. Yes, square.
Put chana.
Put chana. Suddenly I'm feeling hungry. Absolutely right, yes.
You can use it like fan.
I can use it like a fan. Okay, fair enough.
Cover your mouth when you're coughing, sneezing.
Yes, cover your mouth. Hygiene use. Okay, fair enough.
We can use as a prop in dancing.
We can use it as a prop in dancing. Okay, yes, absolutely.
For wiping wet hands.
For wiping wet hands. Yes, okay. Normally what I do is I hug people. This also serves the purpose. What else?
Even I remembered one thing, when you get high temperature, you use these strips and put on the forehead to get
Absolutely.
the
You
temperature.
can do that, right? Put some water with unicolon and put it over there. Fair enough. What else?
When we are carrying a heavy bag, if our hand is getting hurt, we just hold this.
Absolutely. So if the handle is a little harsh on my fingers, I use it to soften it. Right? Brilliant. These are all day-to-day practical, usable suggestions.
So,
What else?
if your hair, sometimes you don't find a pin, you tie. And secondly, when your slipper breaks, you tie the handkerchief here. Just to get the support.
Hair and me थोड़ा suit नहीं हो रहा है. But yes, about the slippers. Absolutely. What else? Come on.
It could be my mini board, you know. I could write something on it when I don't have any other teaching aid.
Absolutely. It can be used as a teaching aid also.
That's good.
If this was an exam and if you were told, give me 30 uses, you will get 30 marks, you would have come up with a little more innovative ideas, right? So give it to me.
To filter water.
To filter water, yes, why not?
To hold something hot.
To hold something hot, yes, why not?
To show flag that we are surrendering.
Yes, surrendering pads, the most important thing in marriage. Can be used. From both the sides, okay. So next time somebody is getting married, now I know what gift to give. Give both of them white kerchief. Vikram?
To reserve your seat.
To reserve my seat, isn't that beautiful? Especially in the bus.
The bus, in the train, reserve.
Train. I'm so happy nobody put it on top of Taj Mahal. Rajesh?
To play games.
To play games, you know that game Dog and the Bone?
Yes.
Dogs don't play, neither is there any bone. But for some reason we call it Dog and the Bone. Okay, what else? 3 more.
Sometimes they tie money in that change and all in the hand.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Especially change, especially these little senior citizens. They will definitely do it. And in marriage, some of these donkeys who sit on top of the horse and go for their marriage. They also have it open like that. Godh bharai वगैरह कुछ होता है ना? They put some things and they collect all these things in that. Different cultures, different names. What else? Give me 2 more uses.
Wipe off your fingerprints.
Oh, she's been seeing CID too much. Okay. From where do these ideas come? From the mind, from the brain,
When the situation
from the
arises,
situation,
right spot.
from experiences, from observations,
From need.
from a need. Absolutely.
They are your reflexes.
Our reflexes, when we reflect in the situation with our needs and the resources available to us. Now this is what a genius does. All of us are actually geniuses. As we grow up, sometimes we forget to remember that you and me both are geniuses. We start looking at life as a repetition. My yesterday should be like my today, and my today should be like my tomorrow. And the mind which questions goes to sleep. The truth is, everybody is born a genius. It does not belong only to Einstein and Newton. Each one of us can experience the genius inside us. What are the qualities which is required for me to be a genius, or how do I know that actually I am a genius? Please take out your notebooks. I will discuss certain points. And I just want you to think, do you remember any given point of time in your life when you had these qualities? The idea behind today's session is, when we leave at 5 o'clock, each one of us should actually believe that we are a genius. Just write down a few words that I say, and then I expand upon those words. Anybody who has a wish can be a genius. So just write down a wish. Every letter of a wish stands for something. And as I explain every letter, mirror your life with those letters. Take this session from your life's perspective. And when you go to the school, there you take the session from the perspective of the students. I've been training now for 14 years. I have many beautiful, wonderful, amazing memories. One of the most incredible memories that I have got is in preparing for this session. Today morning I was speaking to my elder daughter Jo, and I was explaining to her how in preparing this session, my life has changed. Normally an experience changes a life, something that you read changes your life. For the first time in my life, as I prepared for something, my life changed. And I'm confident this session will have the same impact in your life too. A. It stands for asks. ASKS, asks. Anybody who has the willingness, the readiness, and in a few cases, the shamelessness to ask, has all the potentials and possibilities of becoming a genius. A genius always asks. He doesn't take anything for granted. The question goes on, what is it that I should do? Steve Jobs has been quoted as saying, for a few days he stood in front of the mirror and he asked himself, what he sees in the mirror, can he be proud of it? My entire yesterday, did I do something which makes me feel proud of me? And Steve Jobs says, for a few days if the answer comes, no, nothing that I can feel pride for, it means I am going in the wrong direction in my life. If for 7 days I tell myself, no, nothing for which I can feel proud of myself, then what I am doing with my life needs to be examined. So he goes to college as a student, sits in certain classrooms, takes notes, learns, prepares, but he says nothing for which I can feel proud of myself. What is it that I should do which will make me feel proud of myself? He says this is the question which led to all the inventions and all the developments in Apple computers. What is it that I should do which will make me feel proud of myself? As a child, all of us ask questions. Why the black cow gives white milk? And as a child, we had these questions which baffled everybody around us. If I eat food, how blood gets formed? We have the ability to ask questions. Who is holding up the sky? Who is God? What happens when somebody dies? All of us had the ability to ask questions. Which means the genius is there inside. But somewhere as I grew up, did I lose the touch with my own genius? I am a genius. Because I have the ability to ask. A genius does not wait to be told. Shamelessly he'll go and ask. मेरे को कुछ नहीं समझता है क्या? मैं आके पूछेगा, कोई issue नहीं. And when I hesitate to ask, the genius inside me is dying. I want to parent my children well. I am not able to. Somebody else is able to parent the children well. If I am a genius, I will go and ask. What is it that you are doing which makes your child come first in class? Your child is so well behaved. As a parent, what is it that you are doing? How in your house there is always so much laughter? In my house there is sadness. We laugh, but not as much as your house is. What are you doing right? How is it that you look confident all the time? A genius does not hesitate in asking. And when people ask, if he knows, he never hesitates in answering. That's a genius. If you want, can't you ask questions? Can you or you can't?
Yes.
All of us have the ability to ask questions. Which means each one of us actually is a genius in disguise. Let's begin with H. H stands for a human being. He lives his life like a human being. What is the difference between a human being and all other creations? Special. Human?
Reasoning.
Human beings can speak. Okay, we have languages.
Reasoning power.
We have reasoning power. We are logical.
We have a thinking power, right and wrong.
Thinking power, right and wrong. Okay.
We have emotions.
We have emotions. Imagination. Fair enough.
Intelligence.
Intelligence. And what is intelligence?
Decision making.
Decision making power. Okay, fair enough.
Sense of humor.
Sense of humor. Okay, fair enough.
Presence of mind.
Presence of mind. Okay. Sensitivity. Okay. We can laugh. Right?
Ability.
Ability. Which ability?
Doing something.
Ability to do something. Fair enough.
Tolerance.
Tolerance. Fair enough. Now all these are human qualities, right? Is it impossible for us to have it? All these that you're speaking about? Is it too difficult to have it?
No.
Quite possible, right? Sense of humor, is it too difficult? Absolutely easy. The other day my daughter comes and asks me, why a teddy bear is never hungry? Why is a teddy bear never hungry? So I told her, but I don't know. So Papa, guess. My mind is not working. She says, because teddy bears are always stuffed. Day before yesterday, she's asking me, एक कक्षा में एक मिस अपने बच्चों को पूछती है, दुनिया में कितने देश हैं? And I'm thinking, how many countries are there? 186, 190, 192. She's saying, Papa, it's a humorous answer. Don't think logically. And I'm not able to think. She says, oh, एक ही देश, भारत देश, बाकी सब विदेश. देश तो एक ही है. Is it difficult to have sense of humor? Which means all of us can have it. You know, most importantly, human beings can share. I am hungry, you are hungry. You have something to eat. you might still pass it on to me even if you're hungry. Possible?
Yes.
Yes.
Mothers do that all the time.
Yes.
The father lion will hunt and he will not leave it to the mother or to the children. He will first eat it himself. Lion does not hunt, she says. Okay. Lioness hunt?
Yes.
Lioness hunt. Fair enough. I stand corrected. But there one of them will not leave it for the others. वो पड़ोसी ने शिकार नहीं किया वो नहीं छोड़ता उसके लिए. We can. Is it so difficult to live a human life? Possible. So a genius lives a human life. What does S stands for? Solutions. The hallmark of a genius is, it is always searching for solutions. A genius does not brood. He doesn't cry. He doesn't hold himself to the past. He doesn't agonize over the challenges of the present. He is thinking about solutions. Relaxed. Okay, what will be the solution? Which means they don't know how to give up. Who is the person who gives up? A person who thinks there will be no solution. That is when you give up in life. Shivaji is captured, thrown inside the jail in Agra, and he is still thinking about what can be the solution. I don't have money, you have money. You need somebody to whom you can give so that somebody can pay you interest, and I need somebody who has the money to give it to me so that I can give you interest. You are also thinking of a solution, I am also thinking of a solution, both of us meet, both of us grow. The apple falls and somebody asks, why is it falling? What can be the solution for this dilemma? Milk is getting spoiled. What can be the solution? So why not a refrigerator? It is too hot, very uncomfortable to live. What about a solution in creating the right kind of a temperature? Too many people in the audience, voice does not carry. What can be the solution? Why not invent something which can take the voice carry? Can I have that mind which always asks, okay, what is the solution? This is the issue, but what is the solution? Issues have always been there. Since the time human beings have been born, issues have been there. Can I just train myself and think, whatever happens in my life, I will search for a solution. Sometimes the solution will come now, sometimes it will come tomorrow, sometimes it might take 10 years. But I will search for a solution. A person I know, Jagdish Adappa, used to run this company called Usha Fire Safety Equipments Private Limited. His son was born with a very rare kind of a disease where the legs of the bones of the legs cannot take the body weight. So if the child even attempts to crawl, the bones break. The bones are as brittle as a papad. It just cannot take any weight. Child attempts to stand on its feet and the bones break. In entire medical science, there is no solution. Jagdish Adappa literally had to bring his child up till the child was 12, 13 in his arms. Because the child cannot put its legs onto the ground, otherwise it breaks. Even if it drags its body, it breaks. Many people tell him, get the child amputated so that the child can at least live a peaceful life. More importantly, you guys will have a peaceful life. And Jagdish says, you guys are not understanding. The speed at which medical science is growing, today there is no solution for this disease, but tomorrow a solution will emerge. There are so many diseases for which 25 years ago there was no medicine, but today we have the medicines. There are enough minds in the world which are searching for a solution for this disease right now. Who knows, today or tomorrow the solution might come. I amputate the legs of my child. 2 years later on, if a medicine is found, And if my child looks at me and says, Papa, you couldn't wait for 2 years, what will I tell my child? The solution is love. Can I love my child with the kind of legs he has? And not cry seeing him, "Kya tere ko kyun pata nahi hai aise legs?" Can I love him the way he is? If every parent in the world had children of these kind of legs, will everybody will be crying, or will then be acceptable to all? Because bacche aise hi hote. So I'm not going to cry. I'm going to search for a solution. You would play with the child, they will go to dance concerts with the child, they will go for trekking with the child, and the child will be strapped to his back. He says, my child will experience everything in the world because the father is alive. He came to know in Russia there is a doctor who has perfected a system, a surgery by which this disease can be rectified. He sold his house, sold his office. Saying, my son should become okay. An Indian doctor trained by that Russian doctor had just started practicing in Nagpur. Went over there, the treatment was almost for 1 year. But then once I saw Jagdish invited in a program as the chief guest, asking a son over there, son, come running. And we have seen that child who was not able to walk, running down and coming up the stairs, and lifts his legs and shows to everybody the number of operations performed in his leg for the leg to become okay, but now he plays football for his school. The father never stopped searching for a solution. He is a genius. Genius has got less to do with abilities and more to do with the way you think. Do you think it is possible for us, whatever be the situation, we are still thinking about what is the solution? Is it possible or impossible? Possible? You sure? Yes. Which means you have it in you to be a genius. What does I stand for? I stands for impact. The life of a genius is never confined to his own life. The life of a genius, by virtue of the way they live their life, creates an impact on others also. A genius can never be selfish. He is selfish. They know that they are important, they know their life has a meaning, a value, and that is why Jagdish would tell us, see, if I can bring up my child well, none of you who have children who have both the legs right can ever complain about your child. If I can look at my child and say, I am proud of my son, none of you can look at your children who have both the legs and say, नहीं हमको ना मेरे बच्चों से एक problem है. If I treat this situation well, I don't know what will happen to my child or to me, but the world will not be the same place again. I will create an impact in the lives of people. A brand new office was made. Rajaratnam was the interior designer. My friend had just opened that office and it was about 8,000 square feet of space. And Rajaratnam was telling my friend, please ensure nobody drops the first piece of kachara onto the floor. Your responsibility is to ensure nobody drops the first, and in case somebody drops, before the second can fall, the first has to be removed. Simple system by which cleanliness can be maintained. Kachara pada hai, and if you tolerate it, watch it, it is acceptable to you. Very soon somebody else will think it's okay if kachara is down, and they will put their kachara also. Before you realize, the entire place will start stinking. Now you can blame the world, or you can understand that first piece of kachra should have been removed when it was fallen. Then this situation wouldn't have come. Geniuses believe, I will not allow any negative to become a kachra over here. I will remove it the moment it comes, because I am created to create an impact, not to create a stink. Do you think you can think like this? Do you think you can create an impact? Yes. You don't have to become Mother Teresa. But as Dalai Lama says, help your neighbor. If you can't help him, don't harm him. Even then you are a genius. The world is a sad place. If possible, I'll create a little laughter. If that is not possible, I will definitely not create any more misery. By that, I will create my impact. Mahatma Gandhi died. The Congress party was in search of a leader who can take up political leadership, social leadership. While Jawaharlal Nehru wanted to be the political leader, there weren't too many people who were willing to take up social responsibility. Mahatma Gandhi was a social leader, he was not a political leader. They searched and searched and searched, and they identified one person. Vinoba Bhave. Heard of him? Bhutan. They went to Vinoba Bhave and said, can you please take up the space vacated by Mahatma Gandhi? Vinoba Bhave says, please don't search for history in me. I am a very simple man. I don't know leadership and all. I can't communicate the way Bapu could, and I don't know how to make complicated situations simple. Mahatma Gandhi was Mahatma Gandhi, and there will be nobody like Mahatma Gandhi. I am absolutely ill-equipped to do that work. In fact, I will be a big failure. Now that's what he said. But all the committee members insisted on Vinoba Bhave, no, you have to take up the leader because you are the best and you are acceptable to all. Vinoba Bhave says only two conditions. Condition number one, I will come to the venue of the national meeting after 6 months, not today. So the meeting has to be after 6 months. And condition number two, I will come there walking. So if I am in Bombay and the meeting is happening in Nagpur, I am not going to come by flight, I am not going to come by train, I am going to come walking. I want to go to village and find out actually what is it that they need. So he started traveling, he went to a few villages to ask them what is the issue. And by the time he had experienced a few villages, he realized when he was camping in a particular village, that most of them don't know how to make a living. So he asked the poor people in that village, why don't you take up agriculture? And the villagers said, we have no land. Vinoba Bhave said, now I know Jawaharlal Nehru, so I will take it up at the national level. I will talk to the political leaders, get a rule passed in the parliament, and all the poor people should have land. Everybody clapped for him. Next day morning he was supposed to leave, he didn't leave. He asked for all the people to gather again and he starts talking to them. He says, in the night I realized, I go to Nehru, Nehru says okay, then I leave it to the parliament. Parliament might take 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years to decide. And then there are 20 more people who have to take this decision. 1952-53 he is saying this to people. By the time the land actually comes to you, out of 1 acre land, you might be fortunate if you get even 10%. Corruption was high even when India got independent. And Vinoba Bhave knew it. And there in the village he is thinking, I know the answer that I am giving to you called go to the central and then get it sanctioned from there looks and sounds good, but I know it's not a practical idea, and I'm very sorry I'm not able to think of anything practical right now. One rich villager who admired Vinoba Bhave asked him, how much do you need? He said, there are about 22 poor families, 5 acres for each, so we need about 110 acres. That man said, okay, done, take it. Without any government getting involved, without any judiciary getting involved, without any machinery getting involved, that rich man donated 5 acres to 22 poor families. Next day, Vinoba Bhave goes to the next village. There are about 45 poor families. Another rich man in that village, inspired by the example of the last village, gave to each 45 families 5 acres each. By the time Vinoba Bhave reached the place of the convention, 5 lakh acres of land had been collected and redistributed. 5 lakh. 6 months journey. This is what was the Bhudan movement, which many of you are saying. And by the time Vinoba Bhave died, 1 crore acres of land was distributed amongst poor people. 5 acres each. He asked. He didn't know the solution, he asked. He lived as a human being, sensitive, reaching out to people. He searched for solution. है difficult. That looks theoretical. Practical नहीं है. क्या करना है? Maybe he wanted to, maybe he didn't want to, but he created an impact in the lives of people. W binds all this together. And W is wait for none. Wait for nobody. What has to be done must be done. What can be done should be done. I will not wait for somebody else to get it done. I will do it. I don't need power. I don't need position. I don't need huge support. I need me. I'm not going to wait for anybody. So I'm not wait for Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru or the parliament to make things happen. I'm not going to go to the central committee and wait for others to execute the work of lifting socially this country. He may not be as famous as Einstein or Edison, but to me, he is a genius. Every genius has a wish. And this is what a wish is all about. Asks, waits for none. Asks because he knows he cannot have all the answers. Waits for none because he knows people may not be interested. Creates an impact by virtue of the kind of person he is. Searches for solution all the time. Nothing bogs him down, nothing stops him. For everything there has to be a solution. If there is an issue, there has to be a solution. If there is a lock, there has to be a key. There is no lock which is made in the world which does not have a key. There is no issue for which there is no solution. And he searches for it. And lives his life as a human being, loving, caring, sharing with people around him. You tell me of these 5, which is not possible by you? in your life which is not possible by you? What is it that you can't do? You can't ask? All of us can, right?
Yes.
And can't we play our bit without waiting for somebody else to start? If a place is dirty, very dirty, I can play by bit, let me start cleaning. If people come, great, otherwise I am not going to wait for anybody. Is it not possible? Possible to live a life where you don't wait for anybody unnecessarily. Can't you create an impact? My 11-year-old daughter can create an impact on me by asking these questions, which makes me smile. You must have experienced 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old bachas doing something funny which makes you laugh. Has it ever happened to you? Which means you are creating an impact. You can. When you smile at somebody, don't you create an impact? Somebody is in pain and you just hold their hands, don't you create an impact? Somebody is going for something important, you just genuinely wishing them from the bottom of your heart. Won't you be creating an impact? Each one of us can create an impact. Vinu Baba, I would never have dreamt that 1 crore acres of land will be distributed. You only bothered about one village. And it became a revolution. Who knows? Who knows how big Keep Moving movement will become? Should we wait for somebody else to come and do things? Will you wait for your school management to do certain things? You and me can create an impact. As teachers, we can create a phenomenal impact. Can't we have that mindset which says, I'll keep on searching for solutions, come what may? Can't we? Let's say current goes. What will we do? Straight away go back home, or the mind will search for solutions? I will tell all of you, okay, I'm going to come down, all of you come close to me, gather around me, make a circle, and let's talk. That's not possible, okay, somewhere I'll do a video recording, send a link to all of you, see it. You might say, Naren, I don't have internet in my house, but we will find some place where internet is there and we can see that video. Search for solutions, like she said. Sandal is broken, I definitely need it to walk, kerchief hai, so let's search for a solution. Like that solutions come. And all of you are human beings, I assume. Right?
Yes.
Those of you who have doubts, you need not say yes. So does it mean you and me both are genius? So now if I ask you, all those of you who believe you are a genius, please stand up. Who is still sitting? Thank you very much. Good work. A monastery had fallen on bad times. Almost a 125-year-old monastery. At one time, 5,000 people used to stay there. Now only 4 were left. And these 4 were also more than 65 years old. Still older people had died. Younger people had gone to other monasteries or they had given up and then gone back to regular life. Now these 4 monks who were there every day would become a little more sad because hardly anybody comes. Entire week goes by, on a Sunday maybe 10-12 people come. And they are used to having hundreds and thousands of people. Every day they will sit and they will chat, they will discuss why things are going like this, why people are losing faith in God, what to do so that the faithful can come back again. So sad, almost in despair, because the numbers will keep on going down. Just next to the monastery there was a forest, and in the forest there used to be a madman who was also called as a Zen monk by many people. Now Zen monks have a very strange way of dealing with situations. You go to a Zen monk and ask him how to live life, what will the Zen monk do? He will close his eyes and he will open his eyes. He will close his eyes and he will open his eyes. Now that's his answer. Now you need another person to find out what the answer meant. So what the Zen monk is actually saying is, close your eyes and live in the world inside. Open your eyes and live in the world outside. Both the worlds are important for a human being to live well. But unfortunately, they don't give elaborate answers. They give answers in gestures. Hence people sometimes think they are mad. So this Zen monk in the forest was also called mad by many people. These four old monks decided, nuksan to kuch hai nahi, let's go and ask that Zen monk, maybe he has a solution. How to bring people back. The senior-most Peter, who was about 72 years old, goes to that fellow. Now for 15-20 years they have been neighbors, but they have never spoken to each other ever. And so many times these four monks have made fun of him. Now to go to him for a solution, but they don't have an option. So he goes and meets that fellow and says, how's things, how's your practice going on? You know, different religions, they also have different practices, who's more famous, who's more powerful. So Zen monk just makes some gestures and says, nothing. He says, you're doing well, a lot of people are coming. Zen monk says, nobody's coming. He says, apna bhi yahi haal hai, koi nahi aa raha. Koi solution hai kya? What do you think should be done? The Zen monk thinks, and then he says, actually there is no solution. You'll have to die like this. It angers the monks. It angers Peter. What do you mean you have to die like this? The Zen monk says, because all of you are idiots. All four of you idiots. You don't even realize that between you four, the next Messiah actually lives. It's so stupid that none of you has recognized who that Messiah is. So I'm not even interested in talking to stupid. Get lost. Angry and hopeful, Peter comes back and discusses with those four. Okay, that guy seems to have some power, some energy, some aura. Though he shooed me away, but he said, between the four of us, looks like the next Messiah is there. Who among the four can be the Messiah? So Peter says, I'm actually 72 years old and it's too old for somebody to be a Messiah. But who knows? Maybe I'm the one. Looks at Robert and says, you get angry very fast, you can't be a Messiah. But he says, but even in anger what you say, most of the time turns out to be the truth. So maybe you are the Messiah. Looks at Sydney and says, you remain quiet, you hardly do anything. You simply go walk here and there, talk to the winds, look at the skies. A leader has to be a communicator. But who knows? You might be in touch with the divine all the time. You don't waste your time talking, so you might be the next Messiah. Looks at Albert and says, you are all the time busy eating. And after eating is dancing. I don't know why you have taken a priesthood in the first place. No chances of you being the Messiah. But then says, you are always happy. Maybe that's the route to spiritual enlightenment. Who knows? You might be the next Messiah. We don't know who among the four, but one of the four is the Messiah. Not knowing who's the Messiah, they start respecting each other a lot. They start revering each other a lot. Now when those few handful people will come to the monastery, they will find there is a beautiful peace which has enveloped that monastery. Those friends went and told their friends, monastery, tremendous peace. And slowly people started coming in. Before they realized, it became a full-fledged monastery once again. Some old people tired of life came and said, can we become monks? Some new people already delusioned came and said, can we become monks? Some of them tasting that beauty spirituality in that place said, can we become monks? And once again it started becoming in thousands. Why? They started believing. Maybe we are the Messiahs. Maybe he is the Messiah. And in this, beauty happened. When you start believing, maybe you are a genius. When you start looking at others and saying, maybe he is a genius, the best of each other will come out, not otherwise. As I was preparing for this session, as I wrote these words, who knows who is great around me? Maybe the next revolutionary is born out of people whom I already know, whom I have in my life. And if I have to play a part in making that revolutionary actually become alive, if I am supposed to be that farmer who will put that seed out of which 10,000 seeds can come, how should I treat people? And something of my life has changed. Today morning my daughter came home. She stays in Vanori, I stay in Kalyani Nagar. And I asked her, Bitu, what did you have today morning for breakfast? She said, a cup of milk that I had it early in the morning. Then 2 pieces of anjeer and 5 badams. It was about 12 o'clock. Normally I would have looked at her with dismay in my eyes and says, Tum kya kar rahi hai? Itna bada sharir hai, if you don't eat, how will you survive? Don't you understand that your diet should be proper? And you exercise in the morning, you exercise in the night, you travel around so much. Now normally this would be my communication. Love is present, care is present, affection is present. But I'll be a little tough in my tone. What did I do today morning? But it's beautiful how with little you can actually survive well. I never see your energy level down. Maybe one of these days I should also experiment with a little less food. I need heavy breakfast, too many parathas, and only then I think about the next meal. Completing this, I am still thinking about agla kya khaunga. And you seem to have that beautiful mind where food is more of a necessity rather than something which gives you the meaning of your life. I'm amazed. There is something very beautiful and strong inside you. Who knows, she might be the next revolutionary. If she is, how should I talk to her? Isn't this the way I should talk? Isn't it? Do you understand?
Yes.
One of my colleagues promised me that yesterday he will collect at least 1.23 lakhs from the field as he goes for marketing and comes back. Today morning in the office meeting he said, sorry, I couldn't collect even a single rupee yesterday. Normally my hands would immediately go like this. So yesterday was a totally non-productive day for you? In the morning you told me you will collect 1.3, then what happened? So where is your understanding and grasp and grip in the market? Now with eyebrows like this, toughness in my voice, I'll do my best to make them believe maybe they are not doing enough. What did I do today morning? Looked at him, smiled, Did you do your best? He said, yes, ma'am. Wow. Then you must be more determined than ever before today to produce results, right? He says, Hanar and Kal Karna to hua nahi. Today I'll create some miracles in the field. That's exception. You need any help? No, I don't need any help. And I saw such incredible peace on his face. Otherwise, he probably was also expecting a lashing. Who knows? He might be the next revolutionary. Possible? Mahatma Gandhi was born out of where? Out of nothing, right? Vinoba Bhave was very peacefully living. He was born out of where? Out of nothing, right? Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa, where were they born from? They did not descend from heavens. They emerged from normal human beings. Nobody would have thought there is a genius in them. Who knows? These guys and girls might be the next revolutionaries. So I better treat them well. I'm at ease. I'm at peace. The focus is still there on performance. But the tone, the style, the communication, everything changes. I decided last night, the objective of my life will be to make everybody who comes into my life believe they are a genius. If they can believe they are a genius, they will do much more in their life than me holding them to ransom, wanting them to perform somehow. If you believe you are a genius, you will be able to do much more in life than what you are thinking right now. Imagine yourself to be a genius of a teacher when you walk inside the classroom. Don't see yourself as somebody who is incomplete, incompetent, imperfect, doesn't know enough. No human being will ever live a life where we can say we know enough. There are billions of mysteries about which we have no idea. None of us can ever reach that stage where we can say we know enough. Do you agree to me?
Yes.
All of us will live the rest of our life searching. So we can live our life with I wish. And that will take us ahead. Your responsibility. All of you stood when I asked you, do you believe you are a genius? You will hold on to this belief that yes, I am a genius. Enough scope of development. But every genius has enough scope of development. The monks transformed the monastery by nothing else but this belief that one of us is the Messiah. You look at the class, and if you have those eyes which says, my kids are geniuses, they need help. The most potent of the grain needs the soil for it to germinate. They are all potent, and I am going to be the soil where they will germinate. In your class, you will discover a few geniuses. And as a collection of teachers, if we can transfer this feeling, this belief to our children, that they start thinking, actually I am a genius. Just watch their confidence level soar. How to achieve this, I will discuss with you. But first, let's get this understanding. I am a genius. And every child inside my classroom is a genius. And together, we are going to progress in life. You think it's possible?
Yes.
Write down a few things. 1. I am a genius. I am a genius. 2. This world needs me. 3, I will play my part. That's all. I'm a genius. This world needs me. And I'm going to play my part. Can I have the post-it notes, please? All of you will get one bunch of post-it notes. Take one and pass on the rest. Take one bunch, not just one sheet. Take one bunch and pass on the rest. Let's do something crazy. Geniuses are known for doing crazy things. Ready?
Yes.
Kya marela ye sir?
Yes, sir.
A special love for you. Now what you want to do is, on any one post-it note, that is obviously the first post-it note, write over there, genius. The gum should be down and the open flap should be up. So write it like that, genius. With the gum below, write genius. If you don't know the spelling of genius, write whatever you think is the spelling. G-E-N-I-U-S, right? No? Even if the spelling is wrong, I am still a genius. Written? Genius?
Yes.
Now what you will do is, you will search any one person and paste it on their forehead. Which means on their forehead, over here. Either, genius. And only one on any forehead. Which means at the end of 2 minutes, everybody should have one sticker on their head. Come on, post it, come on. Nobody can take it off. Put it properly so that I can see everybody as a genius. This is phase 1, there is phase 2 which is coming. I want to see everybody as a genius. Please don't put it with frustration. With love. Now what will you do? With these tags on your head, you want to write on your note, why does the world need you? It can be anything. It can be, I recycle stuff so the world needs me. It can be, I don't spoil water so the world needs me. It can be, I spread happiness hence the world needs me. It can be, I will donate 1 lakh acres of land so the world needs me. It can be, India will have the next Nobel Prize and for that the world needs me. Now it depends on you. But why do you believe the world needs you? Write it down. You can write. It can be because I will create some incredible geniuses for the world. Hence the world needs me. It can be I will create a phenomenal impact in the life of every human being I cross. For that the world needs me. Be creative and think. With genius on your forehead. Just a small reminder that you are a genius. Thinking about that, write down. Why do you think the world needs you? You can smile and laugh as you write, it's okay. Let me listen to a few of you. Why do you think the world needs you?
To
Yes, ma'am?
spread happiness and love.
To spread happiness and love, the world needs me. Beautiful.
Okay, because change the world by smile.
The world needs my smile. I'm going to smile at everybody I meet. Beautiful. For the new creations in the class?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
To create the young ones good citizens.
To create the young ones as good citizens, the world needs me.
The world needs me because I can teach in the teach the big students in a creative way so that they can enjoy the educational process.
Beautiful. The world needs me because I can teach the weak children in very creative and interesting ways, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. Perfect. Would you want to do something more creative in your class?
Yes.
Of course, you should do this.
Yes.
That is why that entire bunch has been given to you. Otherwise, one would have been given and pasted on your head and you would have continued. Take this post-it note and take it to the class. Distribute one sheet, one leaf to everybody. Make the bench partners write genius. ensure you tell them to paste it, and thinking that they are a genius, let them write why do they believe the world needs them. Once you believe the world needs you, then the challenges and difficulties of your life you will be able to tackle much more easily. When you believe you are not required, you start thinking people take you for granted, then a lot of complication happens. The genius goes to sleep, the devil wakes up. We want the converse. The devil has to go to sleep and the genius should be awake all the time. To take it a little deeper into the children, do another exercise with the children. Give them the freedom, a platform to have a discussion. Tell them, let's assume that all of you are into politics. And for some reason, all of you have the choice to choose which minister do you want to be. Do you want to be the defense minister, education minister, tourism minister, finance minister? What do you want to be? And why? Even if you don't say why, it's okay. What you need to do is tell them, now that you are the minister, what do you do? So let's say you are appointed as the tourism minister of India. As a tourism minister, what will you do? What will drive those decisions, tourism minister? What do you think will drive the decision? Nature's beauty? What else?
Exploring.
Revenues? Exploring? More foreigners? More money to the country? Right?
Yes.
So which means I am teaching the children without teaching them how to be solution seekers. So I'm telling them, you choose the department. In a very subtle way, we are also telling them to think what they can actually do with their life. We are also telling them, you have the power to make a difference. So if you are the defense minister, what is it that you want to do? See, it's very easy for me to sit in the house and criticize the defense minister. But the moment I think I am the defense minister, I probably understand the complexities of their job. And now, I'm thinking I am the defense minister, this is what I am going to do. Now this attitude then comes into my life, okay, these are the issues of my life, to solve it, this is what I am going to do. You will give to them that S of I wish. I wish. Play this game with your children in the class. Tell them you are a minister, choose your ministry, and tell us the decisions that you have taken as a minister. So far what is it that we have discussed? Let's see if we can summarize. And then let's move to a crucial completion of the session. Anybody, what is it that you have learned so far out of today's session?
I'm a genius.
Considering
You raise your
yourself,
hand, they'll come to you.
considering self as a genius.
Considering self as a genius. So which means, now note down on the paper, you begin the session by asking the children in the class, how many of you believe you are a genius? Please stand up. That's how I started the session. How many of you believe you are a genius? Please stand up. That's step number one. Then ask them, why do they think they are a genius? And then, those who have not stood up, ask them, why do they think they are not a genius? Whatever is the answer, there is no counter questions. Whatever is the points that they make is acceptable to you. So no grilling, no proving of your intelligence, just an interaction in the class so that the word genius rings inside the classroom enough number of times. So point number one, those of you who believe you are a genius, please stand up. In point number one, A, why do you think you are a genius? B, why do you think you are not a genius? Not take them into another dimension. That dimension is, if you want to write down, kerchief. Kerchief?
Kerchief, yeah.
Kerchief. So point number one, those of you who believe you are a genius, please stand up. Point number two, just write over there kerchief. And I think you will remember everything that has to be done. remember to take a kerchief that day. If you forget, be solution oriented and think how to solve it. You can always ask somebody. Ask it from a person who does not have common cold. Be smart. And then ask them, how do you think this can be used besides the normal obvious intention of manufacturing, and that is to wipe your sweat. Have an interaction in the class for a few minutes. And then show to them. This entire session shows that you guys have the power to imagine, power to create, power to think about solutions. We all asked a question, what else can the kerchief be used for? So which means all of us over here are a genius. So there is a conclusion to the session on kerchief, and that is all of us are a genius. Then you tell them, if you want in a structure, I will give you a structure of what is there in every genius. A wish. Remember? And that a wish we have already expanded. A stands for? Ask. W? Waits for nobody. I?
Impact.
Create an impact. S? Whatever happens, watching the solutions. And H? Being a human being, having all the qualities which a human being has. If you have these, you are a genius, and everybody alive in the world as a human being has these qualities. Then what did we do? What you will do is, you will take that post-it notes and you will pass it around. Since all of us have decided we have a wish, let us also brand ourselves as genius. To create an element of fun, ask each other to put it on each other. You can also take it and put it yourself. But fun is when somebody else puts it on you. Now in case you know some people inside the class who don't get along well with each other. Supposing you know there are some khunnas parties. Invite those khunnas parties in front. Let both of them write genius on that one post-it note and let them post it on each other's face. Now that both of you are genius, no more jhagda. Drop those enmities which might have accumulated after a few years of togetherness. And then send them back, and the others ask them to paste it on each other. Now this is how far we have come in today's session. Done? Yes. And then after that posting is done, you ask them, you give them these 3 statements which I gave you. Now with the genius band over here, I am a genius, the world needs me, and I will play my part. Then you ask them to play their part by committing on a piece of paper, why do they think that the world needs them? Followed by, okay, let's do something else. All of you have a chance to become a minister at the national level. So you would love to be a minister of what? Give them the freedom, have a discussion in the class, let a few people speak. Now those of them who are a little shy in nature, those of them who don't normally raise their hands, make them speak. For all that you know, that little push is what they require for them to have that self-belief that yes, we are a genius. So I asked my friend over there, she had something very beautiful to say, and that is that the world is a very beautiful place to live in. Now sometimes, even when I have an idea, I just need that little push for me to say it. And having said it, I feel extremely good about myself. Don't you?
Yes, sir.
So like that in the class, there might be a few people who are a little shy in nature. They get overwhelmed by the presence of other boisterous people inside the classroom. Make a few of them stand, and I would love to know what you have written. Irrespective of whatever they have written, they are good. Always remember, Mahatma Gandhi one time was nobody in this world. He was nobody. Vinoba Bhave was nobody. And they became somebody significant. I have to ask, so I can also speak about the monks. You may not have that kind of time, so you need not say the story of the monks. If you think it is required, and one of those days if you have the time, definitely share that story with them also, saying everything changed because they started believing that the Messiah is within them. You start believing that there is a genius inside you. Just wait and watch how beautiful life comes out. So far clear to all of you? Let's move ahead. How many of you know Saregama Padanisa? All of them. Saregama, like that? Let us all sing together. I feel like singing. I feel like doing some crazy things. Those of you who are a little shy, please break your shyness. There's no point in you staying. Others are enjoying. Why you're not enjoying? Naren, my throat is not good. Then it's their problem. Right, yeah? Those who have to listen, it's their issue. What's your issue? You be bindas. In case they say, why you're singing like this, tell them focus on 90%. We'll sing till Sa. From Sa to Sa. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Ni, Sa. Wonderful. Genius. Some of you want to come reverse also?
Yes.
I don't know that.
But you have to sing now.
Okay. Sa, Ni, Sa. Thank you. Do you know what these mean? Do you know why this happened? Do you know why only that Sa and not something else? There is an incredible science in Saregama Padanisa. There is an extraordinary piece of music and an extraordinary piece of knowledge behind Saregama Padanisa. Sa stands for Sakar. Sakar. Sakar means that which has a form. Sa-akar with a form, that's what Sakar is. S-A-A-K-A-R if you want the spelling. It's very funny, I'm spelling a Hindi word in English. But Sakar. Re stands for Rishi. Rishi. Ga stands for Gandhar. 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 It's actually Gandhar. Gandhar also you can spell. English spelling remains the same. Gandharva, Gandhar. Ma stands for Mahipal. 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 Pa stands for Praja. Praja. Dha stands for Dharma. Dharma. Ni stands for Nirakar. And Sa stands for Sakar again. Now don't write Sakar again, it is Sakar. What do I mean by this? Just listen to me for a few minutes, it's brilliantly interesting. These are all knowledge of India which is available to us in scriptures, but unfortunately, in the race of holding more things and greed, we have dropped these beautiful pieces of knowledge somewhere a long time behind. This Saregama Padanisa is actually a journey of spirituality. It also talks to you about the meaning of life. It speaks to us about the purpose of living. How? Everything a human being knows because of their senses. 5 senses. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch, skin. Whatever knowledge you have it because of the inputs of one of the senses. If you take away the input of the senses, you are a blank slate. So if I ask you, what's your name? Sir, what's your name?
Ramakrishna.
How do you know?
Because he has got it.
You know when he was a small baby, whether you believe it or not, once he was a small baby. His mother would have looked at him and said, Rama, Rama Krishna, bada hoke maa ka dhyan rakhega na? Like that she would have played with him. This fellow is looking at him. Everybody is looking at me and saying, Rama Krishna, who's Rama? Me? So I am Rama Krishna. Okay. He heard it. He saw it. The inputs of these two senses makes him understand what's his name. Take away the input of these two, he will not know what is his name. How does he look like? Who is his mother? Who is his father? Which is his house? All the knowledge that he has. Somewhere the eye, somewhere the ear, somewhere the touch, it would have given it to him, this knowledge. So you take away the five senses and you are a blank slate. You know nothing. Initially, if I begin on a spiritual journey, if I am into devotion, if I want to experience the divine, I need something which appeals to my senses. That is why every faith gives you something which can be understood by the senses. Every religion will say God is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. Every faith. Yet in every faith they give us something which the senses can understand. So in Islam they will tell me, look into the west and pray and your prayers will reach. Now I understand through my eyes a direction called the west. There is a photo of the Kaaba over there and I can look at that photo and I can feel whatever I have to feel, devotion. If you are a Shiv Bhakt, one Shivling will be given to you, something which your senses can understand. You belong to Sikhism, then they will give you that book, Guru Granth Sahib, saying this is your teacher, this is your Guru, after the 10th Guru, this is the 11th Guru, no further Guru. All the questions of the world, the answers are found in this book. So if I am a Jew, then I am given fire which I can again feel it, so it appeals to my senses. In the beginning of my life, when I start on the spiritual journey, I need a Sakar Brahma. I need a Sakar God. So in Christianity, I am given the cross. A form. I am not intelligent enough to relate to the formless. Hence, I need a form. So I also know the stone idol is not actually God. But in spirit, I feel the presence of God in that stone. I know God is everywhere, so north, east, south, up, down should not matter. But my intelligence is not developed enough, so I need a direction, I need a form. Limitation to a human being. So in the beginning, I need a Sakar Brahma. That is why it begins with the Sakar. Then comes Ray. Who will teach me how to understand the laws of this entire world?
The learned.
Those who have devoted themselves to understanding the law of the spiritual world. You know, when I devote myself to understand the law of the human body, I become a medical expert, I become a doctor. So when somebody's health is not okay, they go to that learned person who has expertise in that. I want to understand what kind of seeds should I sow in that kind of land. So a geologist will be able to help me. A botanist will be able to help me. So every person in their life chooses to become an expert in certain aspect of life. So I have questions, I go to that expert. So Shyam told me, I build homes for people, hence the world needs me. Now he has chosen to be an expert in that aspect of life. So if I need idea about construction of my house, I will go to Shyam and ask Shyam, Shyam, can you help me, can you guide me? And Shyam will be able to guide me. When I want to understand the laws of the spiritual world, I go to the Rishi Munis. Because they have devoted their life to understand the laws of the spiritual world. Every faith has their own Rishi Munis. You can call them by any name. But these are the people to whom we go to ask about that called God. Can you explain to me how He lives and how is it that I can experience Him? How is it that I should live my life? So first it is Sakar, then it is Re, Rishi Muni. Then comes Ga. Ga means Gandhar. Gandhar means representatives of the divine. What we also call as Devis and Devtas. So we say Surya Dev. What is the idea behind it? If the sun is so powerful, how powerful must be the Creator, who has created millions of such suns? If the air is so powerful, how powerful must be the Creator, for whom this is one small creation? So I am told about the glories of the Creator by the Rishi Munis by using the example of the creations of the Creator. What is the reason behind it? Can any one of you see electricity?
No.
But can you see the effect of electricity?
Yes.
This is the effect of electricity. This is the effect of electricity. The temperature is the effect of electricity. You will not be able to see God, but you can see the power of the Creator. And the power of the Creator is through these Gandhars, the oceans, the sun, the moon, the land, and everything else. When I am impressed upon the power of the Creator, then they ask us to shift to our life. They want us to understand we are small and insignificant in front of the Creator. Now how to live life? So Sa, Re, Ga, Mahipal. Mahipal means the king. King, Raja. Saying and signifying the way God is the king of everything. In your life and your life, the representative, the human representative of Him is your king. So that is how Mahipal. So if Mahipal is there, then Praja has to be there. Mapa. Mahipal will rule over whom? For the Praja. So the Mahipal is told, the way God takes care of all of you, you as the ruler should take care of all the Praja. It's your responsibility to take care of every human being. So that's how the relationship. So first is the Raja, then comes the Praja. It is the Raja's responsibility to take care of the Praja. And what is the Praja's responsibility? Dharma. Dharma does not mean religion over here. Dharma means duty. Dharma means the objective of your life. The way the king's responsibility, duty is to take care of his people, people also have their own responsibility. It brings us back to, I am a genius. I have a role to play. I am needed in this world. I will play my part. Remember? Point number 3. If you are born as a human being, what is your role? What is your duty? Why are you here? Can it be to stay in a bigger bungalow? Can that be the duty of your life? Can it be to wear a watch of 25 lakhs? Can that be the meaning of your life? Can it be to be very egoistic, keep khunnas in your heart, and take revenge against people who have hurt you? Can that be the meaning of your life? What do you think is the meaning of your life? Can it be to make people smile?
Yes. Can be. Can be.
Can it be to spread love?
Yes.
Can it be for you to create and nurture geniuses inside your classroom?
Can be.
Can it be?
Yes.
Have you found the answer?
Yes.
If you have found the answer, then you will start living as a genius. If you have not found the answer, then we are blindfolded, going in a direction, hoping it is the right direction, but actually not knowing. We are in a maze and we don't know the way out. And that, for most people in the world outside, is the truth. What is the objective? I ask myself this question: why are you born? Could it be to earn crores and have those in the banks, buy flat after flat after flat and create possession after possession after possession, and live feeling मेरा net worth 100 crores का है, 200 crores का है? After a time, what will I do with the money I have? So what is the meaning of my life? What is my dharma? Can it be to take care of my parents? Possible?
Yes.
I always say this. I don't know whether I will cry at the dead body of my father or not. But as long as my father is alive, he will not cry. That is my responsibility.
Right. Well said, sir.
When he goes, I might look at him and say, beautiful life lived. Everything has to end. Whatever begins has to end. This is the rule of life. Our relationship has begun, it has to end. My relationship with my children began, that also has to end. Either they will die or I will die. But the relationship has to end. Whatever begins has to end. The school life begins, class 10 is the best phase of life, but it has to end. However much I love it, I cannot repeat class 10 for the rest of my life. It has to end and I have to move on. So one day I realized my father will also end. From being vertical, he will become horizontal forever. I will not cry. In fact, I might smile looking at him. Saying, you lived actually a good life. Complete life. You did everything which was humanly possible. And I'm glad you're back with him. Maybe, I might cry also. But the meaning of my life will be, when he's alive, he should not cry. There's no point in him crying right now and I'm saying, Papa, time nahi hai. And then when he's dead, I'm beating his chest and saying, Papa, why did you go? Papa, ek baar to mujhe dekho na. Papa, please. Supposing he opens his eyes. What will happen to me? I will become vertical. So the truth of life is every relationship will end. Those people who are important to me, can I make them smile today? My friend Satya, his mother had cancer. Doctors told him 6 full months of life. Satya broken down, came home. Satya and my wife Bharti are very close to each other. So he came to Bharti and he said, I don't know what will happen to my life. I can't take this shock. I am going to die and all that stuff. Bharti looked at me in the eyes and said, listen to me. I lost my father when I was 15 years old. You are right now 32, so stop crying. First of all. Second of all, if you have any sense, your mother still has 5 months of life. Why don't you ask yourself this question, how many golden memories can I create for my mother in the next 5 months? Before she dies, she should be able to say, I have no regrets of dying. You can't defeat certain things. You can't change certain things. I have not studied beyond 12. That cannot be changed now. Some facts cannot be changed. What is done cannot be undone. Something else can be done. If you are smart, why don't you create as many glorious memories as possible for your mother? Your responsibility, before your mother dies, she should say, I have no regrets of dying. As our parents are dying, if they have regrets, then we have not been good children. If they still are insecure about us, pata nahi mera bachche ka kya hoga. As they are dying, if they are still concerned about us, then we have not lived a good life. My friend Deepak, when I asked him, what's your greatest achievement? He comes from a very, very poor family. And he said, my greatest achievement is one day when my father said, I don't have any tension about my children anymore. They are well settled. You know what it means to a father to say that? बच्चों के प्रति मुझे कोई चिंता नहीं. Now they can die in peace. Can I do that to my parents? Can that be my duty? Can it be?
Yes.
Ask the children in the class, they celebrate their birthday party with whom? Not with those who gave them birth. Friends. And they tell their parents, आप मत आना वहाँ. तेरे को लेके तो मैं आई. अभी बोल रहे तुम मत आ. गड़बड़ है? Could that be the reason for my existence, celebrating birthday parties with my friends? Dharma, duty, meaning of my life. One meaning to everybody's life is seva. Seva means doing something without any expectations. Any answer that you have about that will be the meaning of your life. So when Mother Teresa helps the needy, she cleans the wounds of people who are sick. She has no expectations. Once when a man asked her, Mother, when I see that I feel like vomiting, when you clean it, doesn't something happen to you? She says, my Jesus, when he was suffering, I was not there. In the suffering of these poor, I see the pain of my Jesus. I'm doing my bit to take a little pain away. That is meaning to life. That is seva. No expectations. If I have an opportunity, I see, he blesses me. If I can do something for my parents, oh my God, it's a beautiful opportunity sent to me. Thank you, God. My friend Sangeeta was sharing with me, in a school, some teachers were asking, why are all of you doing this work? Kuch to lota hai. Someday you will definitely ask for something. क्या चाहिए बोलो ना. पीछे क्या है बताओ ना. बाद में बताओगे क्या 6th session, 7th session के बाद में. Why do we do this? To us it's an opportunity to reach out. And actually it's a selfish act. We do it for our peace. When we meet together and when we say this is what we could do with the teachers and this is what the teachers could do with their students, there seems to be a meaning to our life. Kuch to seva kar raha hai. It's an opportunity and we can't let go of this opportunity. Some people work in the slums, some people work in old age homes, some people work in orphanages. To us it is, can we do something to the education system to take care of the future? To us that is the meaning of our life. So my friends, if you are here, we don't want anything from you, not a single rupee. All we need is come, learn, smile, be happier, make your family better, see yourself as a genius, and then the children inside the classroom see a genius. Maybe out of your class, the next Mahatma Gandhi, the next Azim Premji, the next Narayan Murthy, the next Mother Teresa might emerge, waiting for your touch of magic. That is what we expect from you. Nothing for ourselves. We experience it ourselves anyway. But see if we can make this world a better place to live. So sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, and what is ni, nirakar. When I start living my life with a sense of beauty, I experience the presence of divine around me and within me. Now the senses are not required for me to experience divinity. I anyway experience it with me all the time. I never feel alone. He is always with me. Character, courage, ethics becomes effortless. It's not a struggle at all. true experience of the divine only happens through this path. By you doing your duty. You escape your duty. You can go to all the pilgrimages in the world. Nothing about your life will change. You can maintain rosa for the entire month. Nothing will happen. Chaturmas fast. Today starts, no? Michami Dubram. I was telling one of my friends that I came, Michami Dubram. He says, no, from the evening. Right now I am saying I am sorry for anything that I have done. It should only be in the evening only. Okay. I can do that Michami Dubram. You know, many people say knowingly or unknowingly, if I hurt you, please forgive me. Tomorrow we'll start a new account. Next year again it will come. So next year again I will say. Nothing changes because I am running behind something which is not available through these things. It's available only through one, and that is by doing your duty. There is no other way, there is no shortcut. No havan can give you that experience. No donations will give you that experience. It is when you live your life of meaning you experience it, not otherwise. Hence it is sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha and ni. And then you reach a state sa. Initially one sakar was your God. Now in everything that you experience, you can experience the divine. That is when you start living your life saying, God is actually omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. Sab to hai, sab to ek hi hai. That is what Sai Baba must have meant when he said, Sabka Malik hai, tum log kya jagda karna hai? He experiences that everything is one. You don't have to speak and say, my God is more powerful. You and my BS fighting about the same thing. Two brothers, imagine fighting, whose mother is better? But you are talking about the same mother. But my mother is, kya karne ka, theek hai, teri mother. Actually it's the same. Live life with a sense of duty and a sense of seva. Listen, today we live in a very competitive world where everybody will tell the children, compete. Through this session, you need to tell them, it's not just competition and you coming first, but seva which will actually give you completeness in life. You know the person who wins the Olympic gold medal, next day they are only defending champions. And they go through huge quantum of depression. If you read the autobiography of Abhinav Bindra, in that book he says, after I won the gold medal, I didn't want to do anything at all. I was so depressed. Because win by defeating others, win by defeating others, win by defeating others. I defeated them. Now what to do in life? Life is empty. But if there is service in life, there will always be somebody or something to serve. And life continues. Nobody teaches the young children anymore these things. But if they have a heart which can do seva, now they don't have to go to orphanages, they don't have to do any one of those things. But there will be something for which they do seva. And that is where the statement comes in, the world needs me. Intellectually, musically, we tell them, let's do seva for us to live a good world. Shall we? Yes. How to make the children actually behave in this way? Two things to combine together. One, they are genius. And two, let them do seva. How? A very simple 4-step process. Are you ready? Yes. Step number 1. Speak good about people in their absence. Speak good about people in their absence. Appreciate them. Make them feel important. speak good about them, even in their absence. Appreciate them. Make them feel important. Expect high from them. So the abbreviation is SAME. S-A-M-E. Speak good about them, that is S, even in their absence. Appreciate them, that is A. M, make them feel important. And E, expect very high from them. Now what do we mean by this? If I think you are a genius, let's say if I think Ramakrishna is a genius. In his absence, let's say if I am talking to Manan, and they say Ramakrishna hai yaar, wo pata nahi kya hai. And in his presence if I say, sir, you are now best, then I am not seeing a genius in him. If I see a genius in him, in his absence also I will speak good about him. In his absence, if I speak bad, then I am a political person. Then it's not genius, then it's not purity. So as teachers, I demand out of each one of us, in the absence of students, we will still speak the good about them to enable us to see the genius in them. Because if I don't behave like this, I will believe I am not a genius. When I can behave like this, I believe, look at me, how good I am able to behave. I see myself as a genius. And I am also able to see genius in you. So speak good about people even when they are absent. In the presence, everybody speaks good. In absence, if you can, then you've got class. Appreciate them. So ask my colleague, did you give 100%? Which means you must be determined today. Great, go ahead. Like your sincerity. When I appreciate them, they believe maybe I am good. Let me not disappoint him again. And the determination to do well increases. Appreciation does that magic. We are not exaggerating. So never tell me, Naren, brilliant hairstyle. That will be exaggeration. But the truth. Appreciation is always truth. Flattery is deceiving. So we are speaking about appreciation. 3. Make them feel important. Now how do you think we can make them feel important?
By respecting them.
By respecting them, by listening to them, even if they are wrong, motivating them, gently guiding them. One of those days, if their face is not looking right, if all the teacher can do is just meet me for a minute before you leave tonight, and as they're leaving, say, your face is not looking good. Anything you want to discuss with me? You're an important child and I know you will do well. If there's anything, let me know. The teacher recognized, he could see on the face something is not okay. That makes them feel so important. Sometimes knowing the experiences of their life and sharing in the class. Now this is what this boy has done and all of us are so proud of him. Let's clap for them. Sometimes you make them feel important by giving them small gifts. One cornetto ice cream, 15 rupees. Dairy milk, chotu sa bar, 5 rupees. If not this, buy one packet of gems and give to 10 people. 5 rupees में 10 people, 50 paise per head. इतना तो budget होगा. But you know that small gems from you can also make a lot of difference. Can you make them feel important? On their birthday, can you give them a handwritten card? Not a mail. The emotions that get transferred through handwriting, it cannot get transferred through mails. A handwritten note saying, what do you like about him? He will preserve it for the next 50 years of his life. Make them feel important. And then expect high out of them. Because if a longing is not there to improve, the dynamism of life goes down. So he'll tell you, you're doing well. but I also know you can do better. That's what most teachers write in the report, no? Can do better. अभी किधर? मतलब can do better. ये बताओ तो सही.
उधर स्पेस नहीं होती है उतनी.
एक handwritten note, one small piece of paper, attach it. See, little effort, but it can make such a difference. As you're seeing the serial in your house, in the break, write that note. As the fight is going on at home, tell them, give me 5 minutes break, I have to write some notes. In the meanwhile, write a note for the person with whom you are fighting. Tell them, read, now fight. Expect more from them. Same thing you do to yourself also, same.
Yes.
Expect more of yourself. Appreciate yourself, make yourself feel important. And see how life changes. And what will you expect from the children? You end the session by just giving them, I have one expectation from my children. To everything which is right, say yes. To everything which is wrong, say no. The teacher will play her part. The parents will play their part. But the part which the children have to see, they have to implement every goddamn good thing in the world. Very simple. Whatever is right, I will do. Whatever is wrong, I won't do. So somebody comes and says, let's smoke. If you think it's wrong, say no. If it is right, say yes. You will produce some genius inside your class every year. If you can remember this session, you will produce genius every year in your teaching career. Yes. All of us are geniuses together.
Yes.
Put together. What is it that we can't achieve in life? Vinoba Bhave was alone. We are a force. If each one of us can play our part, before you realize, beginning with Pune, this world will be a much, much, much beautiful place to live in than whatever it is today. Thanks for your time. Wish you all the best. Namaskar.